This is where you choose, is my type going to align to the left of my text box, the center of my text box, the right of my text box, or is it going to be force justified across my whole text box? And you can see that happening over here. So I'm going to left align this. I'm going to, now I need to choose a font that's going to match Popular Mechanic. This one definitely looks nothing like my magazine cover. So a good thing to do is kind of move your Illustrator file over to the side. Get on your web browser, so you've got your web browser up in one window and your Illustrator file over here. Go to DeFont, and the area you're going to use in DeFont is right here. You're basically going to go to the basic, and you're either going to use sans serif or serif. Sans serif means a font like this. These letters here, A, B, C, D, they all have no decorative lines on them. That's a sans serif font. Everything on this website right here is a sans serif font. A serif font is something like Popular Mechanic. Do you see how it has these decorative lines that are at the end of the M and the P and the W and the R? Those are called serifs. So we're looking for a serif font right now. Right here, I'm going to type in the word Popular Mechanic so I can see what my choices are. And then, again, I'm just going to scroll through and look right here on the third one. I found a font that looks really similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty darn close, so I'm going to use that font. You download it, and then you'll double click on it to install it. And mine has already been installed, so I'm just going to close this box. And that one, you pay attention to the name. It was called Chunk 5 or something like that. So I'm going to go back to my Illustrator file, and I will, with my type tool, highlight the type and come in here and put in Chunk 5. And there I've got the word Popular. Now I need to get the right color. I can take my eyedropper tool and click on the type inside the magazine. Then I'm going to lay this right on top again, and I'm going to use my character palette to enlarge the type until it seems like it's matching up. And I can use my arrow keys on my keyboard, and you can see right now how close that is to the original. Okay, so Popular is done. Then I can copy, Command C, paste, Command V, so I have another text box. And in here, I'm just going to type the word mechanic. And you can see how mechanics is the same size, but it's not fitting in here as nicely because I need to adjust the kerning, the space between my letters. So I'm coming into my character palette and adjusting those until the letters really seem like they're lining up. Now it's lining up a little bit better on this side. And that's close, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, so then to do the Can We Trust, I just want to show you how you do one more. I want you to make sure you're saving often, so I'm just going to do a Command S right now to save this. This has not been saved yet inside of my graphic design folder, inside the magazine folder, so I'm going to save it. Then to do the text box. This one, I know I need a text box for can we trust. So I'm going to drag out a text box. Then I'm going to make my type smaller. And I'm going to type in the words with all caps, can, push the return button, we, the return button, trust. So what I currently have is this, can we trust. This font is similar but not the same as this one here. Can anybody tell me the difference between the two? The size, just the size. The difference is one is taller than the other. So you see how this font here is taller than that. You're going to need to pay attention to those differences. So I need to find a font that is a serif font that is a tall font. So I would go back to DaFont and look for a font that I think would match there. And I found one earlier from DaFont. It's this one right here. It's called Witten Condensed Black. So I'm going to highlight that. And then come in here. You can change it in your character palette as well and type in. Okay, so this font is closer. It's not exactly the same, but it is closer. You, of course, should always start with the fonts that are on your computer, but chances are you're going to need to download a font. Okay, so now this one, if I use my Shift Command greater than, this looks like about the right size in terms of fitting here correctly. But my problem is there's too much leading. That's the space between the lines of type. So I come into my controls here. I'm going to set my kerning, my space between letters, back to 0. And I will set my leading to be, let's just see what happens at 36. That's too close. 60 is too far. So then I'll start using my adjustments. And you see how it's starting to get really close there. And then again, you just turn the eye on your layers to look and see how it's looking. So got your eye on and off and see what it's looking like. Okay, so that is the gist of doing this assignment.